over so that I can cut this when we edit it. All right. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to LessonPix Live. Today, I'm joined with Lori Binko, my co-founder and wife. Hi, honey. How are you?
Hi.
I am in the LessonPix studio because it's closed to everybody except me and you. And so it is safe, and it's nice to have a real studio. But Lori is in the LessonPix home office and has some stuff we'll talk about behind her. Today, we are joined by three awesome guests. Tara Roehl, Tali, Kellerstien, Elisa Wern are going to join us in just a couple minutes. But first, we're going to talk about the PowerPoint add-ins that we have going on right now. So we added things because we listened to what the problems were, right? So we added, if you look right here, we added on the right-hand side in our add-in, which you guys have seen before here, we added things about a week or two ago. We added the fact that this would work in PowerPoint, and we heard back the problem was, well, I need dice or a spinner or things like that. So we added them. There's now a play tab here. And so if you want a spinner, we will make you a spinner, and it'll have all the things in your tray, and it will spin, and it will draw things for you and pop them up. And if you want a pair of dice, you can make dice. If you want draw cards, you can make draw cards. And we did this very quickly, and it is not well enough tested, but it is something where if we didn't get it out now, by the time it actually did make it out, we would not have any value. It would be summer, right?
Right.
So I want to talk about what's on the board behind you, because that is a 1 week old flip chart from our discussion last week, right?
It was, and we kept seeing such interesting ways people were doing dice and spinners online, whether they had a physical one or using phone apps, and so it led to this discussion.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
So the discussion behind you is a bunch of flip chart things that you can lift up if you want. You don't need to go through them all, but the point is, we had this We had this conversation a week ago about what would it look like with the dice and the spinners and the hat and the draw. And man, we got almost everything in by today, right?
There's still more to come, but it is really good.
It's really good. I'm really excited about this. It is, it's neat. And so I got the folks who really need this in practice, either because they're new to telepractice or because they're telepractice pros, to talk through how they're going to use this. I got to thank these folks for helping us over the past week in testing the heck out of this very quickly and being kind of a really tight-knit testing crew, because sometimes you can do more with a small group of really dedicated people than you can opening it up to 100 testers. We will do that next, but we had to release this. So
our testers is going to be our biggest group ever.
Yeah, right. You are all of you watching this are officially testers. And I do want to make sure everybody realizes we don't usually work this way. All of our stuff is usually far better tested. We have a whole group on Facebook of testers. We didn't involve them. We grabbed the folks that we knew needed it badly, and we got them involved. And I'm really happy with this. So, Lori, anything we need to say before I introduce our panel?
I think you did great. I think it's been awesome being able to hear what our members, our family has had to say about this and getting it out so quickly before the end of the school year.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
So let me get everybody in here. So we've got Tara and Tali and Elisa. Hi. And then Lori, I'm going to say goodbye. Say goodbye, Lori.
Goodbye, Lori.
If you need me, you know where to find me. But hi, ladies. How are you?
Good.
Good. I think this is probably that's the best view for all of us here. So let me introduce you guys quickly. We've got Tara Roehl. We've got Tara. You are a speech path. You are 100% virtual at this point, correct?
I'm doing telepractice almost 10 years now. Yep. Whole private practice.
You are the actual telepractice expert. You give webinars on it. You've got a kind of a guide that you've got out, and I think there's more coming from what I've heard. You're revamping. So if anybody wants to learn about how to actually do speech pathology, not just the tools we're making, but how to the strategies and stuff, Tara's the one to talk to. Feel free. You're at CCC-SLP on Twitter and actually
and Facebook and everywhere.
yeah. And so I'll put all of us on the bottom here for a second. So look, there's stuff on the bottom. So thank you. You really started all this, and you actually, I need to send you like a bonus or like pay for Asha for you next year or something. Because what ended up happening was we had a conversation. I took notes on what you were doing. I figured out ways that we could do it better. And then we turned the ship very quickly so that we could support the teachers in the field when they went remote. And it's gone really well. It really has. It has been an enormous amount of support tickets and extra time. But it turns out that because we couldn't visit conferences and we couldn't visit school districts, we repurposed our staff and everybody has kind of stepped up. It's been great. And I love the way it's working out with the, not with districts right now, because none of them are open, but the individuals are buying this product and they are loving it. So thank you. And you're going to share some of your stuff that you've been doing since we did this.
Yeah.
Elisa Wern, you are one of my favorite OTs of all time. You and Judy Schoonover are my two favorite OTs of all time. So thank you for being here. And you reached out early as we were doing these things, and you're going to show me OT stuff, not speech stuff.
Yep.
And I think a lot of your stuff will apply to teachers as well. I know the stuff you've shown me before has. You are up in Gainesville, so you're not too far away. I think I see you more than I see any of these other folks. But I'm delighted that you're here. And this is your fourth today? Is this your fourth webinar today? Your fifth? This is your fifth call. So I know you were on the New Hampshire AT call today. Thank you so much for taking some time this afternoon.
Of course. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. So, and then Tali Kellerstien. So you are not a telepractice expert at all, right?
No, I just started PC post-COVID, and and I am brand new to this world. I'm at 8 weeks, I think, in 7 or 8 weeks, something like that.
Right. So like everybody else, you were thrown into this head first, and you jumped on, and you're now one of our biggest fans. Like I see LessonPix stuff being posted at the Speak Boutique all the time. So
yeah,
I'm delighted.
I was a fan before this too, though.
Gotcha. But we're going to go through, and I think we're going to do it in this order. We're going to do Tara, Elisa, and then Tali, and we're just going to go through some of the ideas you guys have come up with for these new tools. We also have comments from the crew, so we'll take some time as we go to I'll watch for questions, but at the end I'll actually have an official question thing, and I see Tara's. So everybody, you're also on the chats. This is great. So these three people, you're not watching, but they're all typing into Facebook and YouTube right now as well. So they are all there now. So let's get started. And I'm going to say, so Elisa, I'll be back with you in a second. Tali, goodbye. And hi, Tara. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. I saw your beautiful children yesterday. That was awesome.
Yes, they all stuck their head in to say hi.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to give you the floor. I'm going to share your screen and show me what we're looking at and what you did with this thing.
All right. So as Bill said, I am a 100% telepractice speech therapist. I've been doing telepractice almost 10 years now, but my practice solely focuses on social cognition and executive functioning. So that's all I do. That's all I see. Those are the only clients I work with. So anyone who does social cog and executive functioning knows a lot of the social thinking ideas, which is a lot of that red thought, blue thought ideas for expected, unexpected. And a lot of my guys I've had for a long time. And that really gets to a lot of that nuanced piece for them. So things that are expected or unexpected or give people red thoughts and blue thoughts change based on the situation. So one of the things I like doing, especially with some of these new features, is I like looking up a setting for our kids. So let's just say it was the classroom. And then I would pull up just a classroom image. And that's why I have that black box at the bottom, so that I can just See, I still drag.
You should drag, they'll be little.
I know.
Click on them.
I know. It's a habit, especially with the new features.
All right.
All right. But I'll put the classroom down here. So then we're talking about the classroom. And then I already have loaded on my tray a bunch of different actions that I loaded up on the webpage for them. So I switched over to play, and I'm having a lot of fun with the draw cards game right now. And so I clicked create game, and then we can draw different cards. So playing with our toys, again, it would depend on what kids I'm talking about. But if I'm working with a 7th grader playing with his toys that he brought in his backpack, that would give the teacher a red thought. So I might pull that over and put that over in the red thoughts.
Yep.
It connects to both whenever you do that. And stick that there. And then I could draw a new card. I love that feature, Bill, that I can still see the cards down here in case I can't remember what we already did. But then I can go through each of our different cards and, singing would give people red thoughts in the classroom, in the middle of the classroom. So I would drag that over as well and stick that over here. So that's one of the ways I'm doing it. So my kids don't know what's coming. It's kind of fun. It's random. And because I use Zoom, I can give my kids cursor control. They get to draw the cards. They get to drag them over those pieces.
Let's show them exactly what you did to make that. So click the show controls over there on the right. Right. All right. So when you're in the LessonPix, so first of all, they may not even know how to open this. So when you have the symbol, when you have the add-in installed, there's going to be that little button right there. And we have a separate video on installing the add-in, so you can watch that later. But that button will open up the LessonPix symbols on the right. And there's now a new tab. And if you all the way up at the upper right there, it says play. I don't know how easy it's going to be for you guys to see that. Then it can make 4 types of games. And this is the third one down. This is the draw cards. There are 2 styles of them. So one is the hat and the other one is the bear. I don't know if you saw the bear yet, Tara. But when you click create game, it will make a game underneath it. And then it will hide the controls. So you have as much room as you can over there on the right. Right. So if she hits draw, the bear will think about something. And it actually says, right? As it goes, you probably can't see that. But then you can drag from here over into the left-hand side. From the tray, if you do that, you get a little picture. I'm working on that. Again, there are issues. But you can drag that over if you want to, or you can use it just as something to talk about, right? Whatever was drawn, or you can use it to ask questions. The other one is drawing from a hat. In both cases, when you click on the word right over on the right, it will disappear and go down into the already drawn category. So everything is drawn once, randomly, and they go into the bottom. So this would be really good for things like bingo games, right? You can draw a bingo game card, things like that, right? All right. So what are the other yellow and green ones over there?
This one over here. So this one, I was actually playing with this earlier, which was swapping out my tray on LessonPix to a different series of pictures, just seeing how it would work to then pop up here as well. Yeah. So I can refresh my tray, and I loaded up on my tray actually on the LessonPix website. A big thing I use a ton of is story grammar marker. Gotcha. I use it a lot with the executive functioning for helping my kids kind of break down. So we might read a short story, and then the way I've been playing with this one is hopping over to play, and instead we are doing the dice. Gotcha. And so I set up my tray so that the first dice would just be the feelings and the settings. Right. So I put 6 of those in.
The first 6 are there.
Yep. And then the next dice would be the kickoff and the plan. Put those 6 there. And then my next dice would be an obstacle and then the wrap up or the conclusion of the end. So then when I go over to play dice, I picked polling from the tray and I picked 3 dice, which is what I want. And then I created them. So now I've got each of those in here. Gotcha. So if we've read a short story together, then we would roll the dice, or I'd give them the control. And then these are the 3 answers, or they could pick 2 of the 3 that they want to answer. And then we would fill them in over here. So if they wanted to talk feelings, I'd pull in the feelings, we'd stick it here, and then we would type on this box what the feelings of the character was. And then they'd pick whatever they want next. And, then I want to also answer a question on the kickoff. Great. Let's then talk about the kickoff. And then we'd fill in the box there. And then I keep, as I've mentioned before in many of your talks, Bill, every one of my students has their own PowerPoint. That is their working notebook. So then I would just duplicate this slide again and again to answer questions or answer different stories. And we'd be able to look back at them and review them other times that we meet together.
Gotcha. So a couple things on the right hand side. So you'll notice that she has three dice there. It will do up to 5. So yes, you can do up to 5 there. Also, you can resize that tray. So if you'll hide it again and just drag the thing over, you'll see that sometimes you want more room. It'll do that. Go the other way. So there it'll have just vertically like that. So you can use less space on your area. We are having some questions on there on the right about the how to get the add-in and about how to get pictures into your tray. So when we're done showing these, I'm going to go ahead, just so you guys know, I'm going to go ahead and walk through that before we get in with Tali for the next thing, just to make that clear for those watching. But I think this is a great idea. Then will you drag into the right-hand side? Are you just talking about it? Or are you typing? What are the kids putting in the right-hand side?
For right here, yeah, I'll just go to insert and then I'll hop to straight to text box. And then, they're feeling happy and sad. And then we'll just type it in. I've made this. So these were my drafts. So these are all my moving pieces here, but I set them as backgrounds here. So I can move these, but the actual outline doesn't move, which is nice. The color boxes.
Very
like
cool.
We talked about in that very first one that
ages,
caused you all this work.
It was ages ago. It was like less than a month ago we had that conversation. So
and it's caused you all this work. You're welcome.
Yeah. No, but hey, listen, we have figured out that I think what makes us a little bit different is our focus, and it's not. There are a lot of things that are not. There are things we don't do because they're not focused on the teachers and the speech paths and their experiences with the students. And obviously their experience completely changed. We had to turn the ship, and I'm really kind of excited about the way that it went. So thank you again for doing that. Let me go back to your screen for a second. Is there anything else that we need to see on here? Did you see I added something new today?
Which one?
I've
been playing today, but
I added a timer that counts.
Yes,
down.
I did see the timer.
Yeah,
I just didn't know if it happened last night or today.
we will. I'll talk about that one in just a second.
Do you want to use my screen to talk about how to do the add-in?
I got
your
mine.
own? Cool.
I'm good. So let me do that. So thank you very much, Tara. And so let me go back. So I am seeing questions, and Lori is going to queue up questions for me in a little bit. She'll keep track of them and make sure I don't miss any. But I'm seeing a lot of questions that I can kind of tick off in a second. Can this be used in Google Slides? The add-in will not run in Google Slides. Will we make an add-in with the same features that goes into Google Slides? Probably. There are issues about authentication that make it so that I cannot do that before the end of this school year. And I can get this done because we already had it in place for Word. Yes, we will do this over the summer so that it works in Google Slides, online as a standalone page, probably called the LessonPix Playground, and on our mobile app for your phone. So all these things will eventually do that before the start of next school year. For the end of this year, it works in PowerPoint only as an add-in. Second question, what about if your administrators are blocking your add-ins? Have them contact support@lessonpix.com. We have had success in getting past that, but it does have to be your administrator talking to our support desk. So those are a couple quick things. Let me go ahead and show you how to add the add-in before we go on, because I'm seeing lots of questions about that. And let me go ahead and show that. I'll show my screen here for a second. And this way, there you go. So here's my screen. I'm inside of PowerPoint, and I just have ignore what's on this page here. If you open up PowerPoint and you go to the Insert tab, which usually looks something like this, at the very center it says Get Add-ins. You will click that. It will come up in the store, and you will type in LessonPix. You'll see LessonPix symbols, and you'll hit Add, except the terms are the same as the terms of the website. And it will actually put this little icon right here. And the first time you install it, it'll give you a big red sign pointing at this. But this little icon in the upper right here, says Import Symbols or Insert Symbols. When you click it, it will actually give you the LessonPix symbols. You log into the same account, that you use for LessonPix, and it will show up. And if you want to add a picture of Patty, you click on it, it will drop her right here, and you'll be good. Okay. I do recommend that you click on the images here rather than dragging them, because it gives you a full resolution LessonPix symbol rather than a smaller one that'll be low res and grainy. So just click on it, it'll insert it for you. The latest version of PowerPoint will let you drag, which the older version of PowerPoint wouldn't. But you don't want to do that anyways, because you end up with this kind of cruddy little picture that is blurry. You don't want that. So click on it, it'll add it. Okay. You'll see the tab. This might look a lot like our symbol combiner or symbol builder. It is. You can get your common pictures. You can browse our pictures by category. Look at the games, and you'll see pictures of games. And what we added just now is the last tab, which is this one that says play. You'll see some options here. There's a spinner, there's dice, there is drawing cards, and there is a timer. And the timer is either count up, like you can do a countdown for 5 minutes, and it'll do that. It'll give you an alert when it's done. You can count up or just count continually as well. So the spinner will either take the things from your tray, and it'll look like this. These will be the things in your tray. Or if you prefer, you can get numbers and say, I want numbers from 1 to 5. It'll do that. That's right here. The dice asks you how many dice you want, and do you want the things that are in your tray, numbers, or dots. So if you want traditional dice, you can say, I want 3 traditional dice, and it will give you 3 traditional dice. And there they are. Okay. When you click on them or you hit the roll button down here, it will spin them. I do recommend that there's a little arrow right here. If you click it, it'll hide your ribbon. It gives you some more room on the right-hand side. The third one here is drawing cards. So unlike the spinner, so the spinner randomly shows you something from your tray. Drawing cards will not repeat an item. So when you draw this read symbol, right? When you close it, it goes down here, but it will not draw read again. It is literally doing a draw from a hat idea. So that's what that does. And the last one is the timer. So hopefully that gives you the basics here of how to install the add-in and some basic questions answered. So I'm sorry I didn't do that in the very beginning when I was talking to Lori. I probably should have. But I think it's good that I stopped and did that at this point. So with the assumption that you all are happy with that, and it looks like people are happy and saying, so cool. Can you set the spinner for specific colors, color matching game? We'll talk about that in a second, okay? Let me remove this, and let's talk to Tali. Actually, Tali, hold on a second. Lori, hi, dear. Will you unmute yourself for a second?
There you go. Hi.
So we're getting questions coming through. I think I said this. I want to make sure you didn't miss it. Can you keep a tally of important questions that come through on the right?
Of course.
And we'll come back to you. Otherwise, I'm trying to do too many things, and I'm not that talented, it turns out. I will tell you, it's great to have this many people paying attention to this. It's kind of a lot of fun.
And I'm glad you walked through some of those basics. Because
I should have done that first. I apologize. I didn't plan well enough. Sometimes live is live, right?
Yep.
All right. All right. Let's get on to Ms. Kellerstien. Ms. Kellerstien, how are you?
All good, Bill. How are you?
I am good. So, Tali, you are going to show us some things you're doing.
Yeah. So this is activity I'm going to do with a child tomorrow. I work pretty much exclusively with speech sound disorders. And so this is going to be helping a little girl who is consolidating her R, and she's at a point where she's already doing sentences. And so what I wanted to do with her, I need to go into my own screen for that. What I wanted to do is have her give directions to the different animals on the maze. And so we're gonna roll 2 dice. Are you seeing my screen, Bill?
Yeah, I'm seeing perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna roll 2 dice. So here we've got the bird to the ladybug, and so she'll have to give directions. So the bird will fly and turn around and go down the road, and then turn left or right, whichever way, and then up to the ladybug. And so that's the activity that I'm planning on doing tomorrow for my speech therapy session. I'm just trying to minimize that so I get back to you.
Oh, here, I'll turn that off. Here you go. So,
yeah.
So that was, so it was spinning when you clicked that, right? I wasn't sure if I could see it spinning. The two dice spun and they chose.
They changed, yeah.
And you are one of the most creative people in our entire system with the symbol builder, right? So what you do with the symbol builder is absolutely ludicrous. It is not what we meant to design that for. You made donut pants, right? So we have some questions for you, right? So we have questions like, how did you make the maze part? So why don't we go ahead and show this, right? Let me show your. So why don't I show it? I think.
Sure.
Is it shared?
That specific maze is not, but I can make it public right now.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go into LessonPix and log in here. And so what Tali did was she used our wizard to create a game using the game board, which was the maze, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just making it public.
Okay.
There
it is, right here.
Oh,
it looks like it. That's a different one. Tali shares a ton. It's awesome.
There we go. Now it's public.
All right, now it's public. And
no, sorry, it's making me choose the category. That's why it's not. Category, description, and now public, and it is saved. Abracadabra.
There it is. All right.
There we go.
So what Tali did, let me zoom in so you guys can see, was she created this game using the wizard. So she put the pictures in her tray. She chose the maze layout, and she generated the PDF file. So I could download this PDF file right now, and it would look just like the one that you used.
Yeah.
But you didn't do that, right? So after you created this, you went to the area right beneath it that says other download formats.
Exactly.
And then you chose PowerPoint fixed plain.
Yeah. And right? I made sure that I loaded those images onto the tray so that I could have them on the
So here, I'll clear my tray. And I'll load those pictures up. So now they're on my tray, right? I'll download it as PowerPoint fixed. And right here, you can't see it because the question's in front of it, but it will open this up. I'll say enable editing, and I'm right where Tali was, right? So all I have to do is open the sidebar, and I'll type in me, not you.
I'm obsessed with these maze templates. I just discovered them and have been using them so much. I love them. Gotcha.
And so then what you did was you went into the tray, you went into the play item.
Yeah.
You said not draw cards, dice. You said dice, right? And you wanted 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you hit create game. And there they are, right? So there's the same dice. We can spin them. And then you can say, okay, so you might need 1 token over here to move, right? So if you need a token, you can go in here and look for a token. Oops, not toke. That's a different video. Sorry. Token. So you laughed. You weren't supposed to laugh at that. That was a test. So you can add a token and put it wherever you want, like here. And now when you create your dice, you wanted 2 of them, and you hit create group. There you go. So now you can say, okay, go from the ladybug to the salamander. And so you start here, and you got to find your way. Oh, there's a long way to get to the salamander.
Yeah, lots of speech practice when we have a long road is perfect.
Right. And so you're using that to do directional instructions and things like that. So Christy, I think that answers Christy's question. That's awesome, and it's a great use. You could use the spinner for this. You could use any of them, right? So you could certainly use the spinner. It would look a little different, but it would do the same thing. You just have to spin it twice because you'd need two options. So who's going to move? Spin it, and you'll say, okay, who's going to move? The salamander is going to move. We're going to start at the salamander, and then you'd spin, or lizard, sorry, and then you'd spin where it was going, right?
Yeah, or I would, if I was going to do with a spinner, I would have it all be just the ladybug. How does the ladybug get to the lizard? How does the ladybug get to the badger? And if it lands on ladybug, she doesn't move.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Let me give you your screen back. Can you bring up PowerPoint again?
Yeah.
Okay. So there you are. All right. So can you show, do you have open? So do you have anything else you want to show? Because if not, I have something I want you to show.
I have, oh, it's not right here. It's not right here that I could talk about another thing that I did, but it's not accessible for me like right this second.
So do you have the TH sounds that you were working with?
Which TH?
Thank you, Mr. Something.
Oh, my panda one?
Yeah. Can you show your panda one? So I want to show you guys what she did. It's crazy. So this is absolutely berserk. So
okay, you ready to download it to PowerPoint or to just keep it in my tray?
You'd need to reshare your screen to share your tray. That's fine. Share your tray is fine.
Okay.
Here. I'll tell you what. I'll drive and you can explain this to people, okay?
Okay.
Let's go back to Tali's stuff here. All right. Where is this ridiculous thing?
There it is. You missed it. You missed it.
There you go. Thank you, Mr. Panda. All right. So this is not about PowerPoint. You didn't do this in PowerPoint, right?
No, I did this in the symbol builder.
But I want to show people what you did because this is berserk. So this is a book you have called Thank You, Mr. Panda.
I have it right here.
All right. So let's talk about first things first. You added eyeballs.
Yeah.
We don't have eyeballs on all of our characters.
No.
You went into the symbol builder and you added eyeballs to all of our characters, right?
Yes.
And then you went into the symbol builder and you dragged those guys with eyeballs onto an image that laid out in this shape so that you could do large and small pictures, right?
Yeah.
And then because this is absurd, in the book, they have donuts on everything, right?
Yeah.
So you took donuts and you made donut patterned packages.
Look how it matches.
You made donut patterned underwear
for the lemur.
For the lemur, right? Donut patterned sweater and socks, which I didn't even know we had these socks. All in the symbol builder, right?
Yeah.
And then you loaded them up and you used the wizard to make this layout, and then you probably use PowerPoint to drag things or tokenize things because your kids are still remote, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I said that for homework so that the kids could replicate what we did in our therapy session for their home practice.
Yeah. So if anybody ever wonders, hey, why is Tali always on these shows? It's because she's nuts. Okay. It's because she's absolutely out of her mind. And she uses LessonPix to the extreme, right? You use every feature that we create, you use the hell out of it, right?
I use LessonPix every single one of my sessions.
That's right. That's awesome. So I appreciate you being here and showing me these. And I'm sorry I called you out on the donuts, but I saw it. And Lori's done this before on Rapunzel, a thing you did on Rapunzel, where she said, "Did you see what she did?" Right? Is that right, dear? You're muted. I can't hear you.
Well, then I can't say anything. There you go. But yeah, no, every time I see something that's really cool, I'm like, oh my gosh, of course it's Tali. Oh my gosh, I can't believe the creativity with the tools.
Thank you. Well, I'm really, really happy. I was pushing you for a long time to put in that symbol builder, so I was very happy when it appered.
Yeah, so I am thrilled with the way you're using it. Is there a way to follow Tali on LessonPix? So yes and no. If you search for Tali in the Sharing Center, you will find her shared materials, and that is constantly updated. And you'll see a page that shows. If you click on Tali, the name, it will show you a page that tells you about her. You should follow her on Instagram, right? Speak Boutique.
Yeah, I think I put on Instagram.
And you're on Twitter, but you don't do anything. right?
I don't do anything on Twitter, but I'm most active on Instagram. I have a YouTube channel where I have videos with different speech tips. And I have my Facebook page as well. The Speak Boutique is the handle for everything.
Gotcha. So we have a question that's a good one. How did you put the donuts on the pants? Do you mind if you talk me through it and I show?
Sure. So you need to go.
Yep. So there we go. So I got to go back here and make sure I'm logged in. I'm going to go to the symbol builder.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So you search for shorts. Was it on the pants you needed? It was underwear.
Something white.
Yeah.
Here.
I actually had to go back and change a few things to white beforehand, which is a different thing.
We'll put them on beige right now.
Yeah. So then you do another search. They weren't under donuts. You have to look under rings. So now do search for ring. Just do it in the same. Oh, there you go. Now that's my rings.
Yep.
And then I moved them over. And I was just trying to match more or less the colors that were in the book.
Right.
So when you have before you go get another color, Bill, make it smaller.
Yeah.
Make that ring a bit smaller. And now you're going to copy it like 7 times.
So you're going to hit duplicate.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And then you're going to move them around.
Exactly. And just put them in random places. And then you just fill in the blanks with the other rings.
All right. So we're just going to make blue spotted pants. We'll do one more. We'll add pink. All right. So we'll resize these to about the same size. And we'll, I don't know, add a few more. So you did this and you went through this with
for each of those items.
For every one of these crazy, this is what I mean by she's insane, right? we'll add one more, I don't know, like this. All right. So add this one.
You're adding more and more. You're having fun.
I know. And we'll call these spotted pants.
Yeah. And then
create symbol.
You can change the color. So now you can actually make those cream pants white really easily in the next screen.
Yep. Yeah. So now you can recolor this if we want to. And all of this works. And then you aggregated these into the other one.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that answers the question. That answers the question. It's wow is correct, right? Wow. So, and yes, your Instagram is amazing, says Beth Potts.
Oh, thanks, Beth.
All right. So let's take a break, and we're going to bring all of you back in a little bit, but I want to bring up Elisa Wern. So thank you, Tali, as always. Thank you for helping us test this and use it.
I love it.
So hi, Elisa. Goodbye, Tali.
Hello. I just reshared my screen with you because I had a little internet blip and it knocked me out. But you should be able to share my screen. Perfect.
Yeah. How about that?
All right. It's a screen within
Elisa needs a second monitor.
Because I'm on my Mac, because I wanted to show you guys PowerPoint on the Mac that it worked in there too. So now you see my PowerPoint, right?
I see your PowerPoint. I do.
So this is on the Mac, and you'll see that looks the exact same over on the right-hand side. You'll see there's the lovely LessonPix insert symbols. So I wanted to try to think of 2 OT end examples. And so we do a lot of zones regulation in our district for self-regulation. So I went in and put in some pictures, made these at 2 separate times.
And you've been logged out. You waited too long.
I waited too long.
Yeah, so click on show controls.
Oh, wait, hold on. I got to come back to.
What? No, you're no. You're good there. Sorry. Go back. Click on show controls under the LessonPix symbols.
Oh.
I see the watermark, which just means you waited. I made you wait too long. Click on tray and hit refresh.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's going to tell you to log in. There you go. It logged you out. That's all.
Oh, okay. I was like, logged out of what?
I'm sorry. There's too many. Yeah, well, welcome to technology, right?
Oh.
We won't see your password. It's okay.
Whew.
All right. There you go.
All right. So this is, I loaded my tray up with activities that could be self-regulation based from a couple of activities I've found and used and made. And so I put those in my tray, and separately, I just did a quick sort activity. So this is just a PDF where I just put in red, yellow, blue, green zones on the top. Okay.
Gotcha. Yep.
And so I then, when I went to go think, okay, how could I use some of these interactive features? I went with the hat, and here's why. Let's see. So what I wanted them to do is, as the card comes up, think, where could I use this strategy? Now, what I've learned with the hat is that you have to click and drag.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
You do. Yep.
So with meditate, let's say I was in the blue zone and I needed to, calm down a little bit. We would click and they would tell me that that's an activity they could do to help them get, out of the blue zone and back into green. And again, having the cards that are already drawn down there are helpful so that we could go back and talk through them. But again, if you are moving around, let's say I wanted to put movement right here, I do have to kind of click and resize, but that's really not a problem because the goal of this activity is that they're figuring out activities that would work to help them no matter what zone they're in. So that is one example. Now on my desktop real quick, somebody asked a question earlier about could you, load things from your tray quickly, and absolutely. So part of what has helped me is being able to save things in my tray that then I know very quickly I can go pull back up to be able to use. So that's what I did on the back end so that I could show you this activity. So I have students that we're working on making letters, and they're really sick of drawing letters and making letters with me. So I was trying to think, especially given teletherapy, what's a different way I could do this? I think it's gonna be the same scenario, maybe. Oh no, there's no watermark. Okay. So the best way I know how is to maybe even use the spinner, use the dice. When I did this with my student, put 3 dice up and had them roll the dice, and they had to try to make a letter from what showed up.
That's great.
So
that's great.
Yeah, in this case, I could make an O, I could make a lowercase d, I could make a whatever. And so I put the writing page there. This is something that I maybe would have sent over to the student's family ahead of time or put in their take-home packet for teletherapy. So they would have a piece of paper in front of them. I may try to kind of replicate that in actual use, making that letter format. But the goal was really, okay, and if they can do that, then I would up the ante on them and I would say, all right, now I want to see how many can you make? And again, this is where, being able to resize this is helpful. Right. So I can come in and say, all right, could you make a whole word with the ones that are there? And if they can't, I want them to make as many letters as they can. And then I would re-roll and be like, okay, how about now? Is there a letter you could add? So I end up with kids that end up with short, 3 and 4 letter words, and maybe they write all the letters out, and then it's a whole nother visual perceptual task for them to think, what word could that make?
Right. That's awesome. Yeah. No. And I love the idea of using the primitive writing strokes or early writing strokes, whatever the right. I don't know the right name for them. What is it?
Pre-writing strokes.
Pre-writing strokes. I think we just actually got a request yesterday or today to make those in the road format. Have you seen the road formats we added?
Yes.
So they want the pre-writing strokes in the road format, right?
And because for a lot of kids in pre-K especially, that's where we start. We want to make sure they can cross their body and be able to make an X. We want to make sure they've got those diagonal strokes down. So I've done a bunch of different things in terms of teletherapy, but those were 2 quick kind of very OT-ish examples. And you could see how, if you put words on those dice, then they could, scramble them and use them to make a sentence, et cetera, et cetera.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. I appreciate you coming on. I love seeing that OT, like a lot of people think of us as the speech, but we're founded by a teacher, not a speech path at all. But a lot of speech paths do use us, but OTs use us a ton. I mean, you use us a lot for behavior management, for all kinds of regulation and God, all fine motor stuff, sensory stuff. I mean, you use us a lot. I'm delighted to see that you're going to use this even remote. So, and remote OT has to be crazy hard. Remote speech is hard, but remote OT just seems like it would be like that's extra level there.
Well,
right?
and take that one level deeper and talk about remote physical therapy, and it's a whole nother ball game. But I have a PT that has used some of the LessonPix visuals as we were trying to plan out how do we help support people. So absolutely, I think it's got applications across all of those related services.
Gotcha. So I really appreciate you being on with us this evening. I am going to take some time. Don't go away. I know you're dying to like stop me doing Zoom, but
not going anywhere yet.
So let me. I'm going to pop you off here for a second. I do want to answer a few questions that I'm seeing, and Lori, I'm going to bring you on again in just a second. Here, there you go. So so a couple things that I'm seeing over on the questions that we need to answer. There are versions of PowerPoint that this works with, and versions that it won't. So first, anything older than 2016 doesn't have the ability to insert images, and so we can't work with it. There's not anything we can do about that. It literally, the functionality wasn't there. That's why it took so long to get a PowerPoint plugin in the first place. So anything earlier than 2016 isn't going to work. In addition, if you are a part of the insiders, the Office insiders, which is the bleeding edge beta tester for Microsoft, if you chose that option, the bleeding edge doesn't work yet because add-ins don't work yet with the animation. There's nothing, again, until Microsoft fixes that. You're in their beta testing group. I can show you where to see that, but I think those are the two places where we are having challenges right off the bat. So let me show where that is. You can always go in, and this is the first question we're going to ask you, is what version are you running? So you can always go to File and then go to Account, and it will tell you what version you're on. So this is version 2004 of Microsoft. It's now called Microsoft 365. They changed that last week. It's not called Office anymore. But if you are a member of this Office Insider program, you will not be able to use the dice. They will not work. And there is nothing we can do to fix that at this point. So you can make sure that if this says anything higher than 2004 right now, that will be a problem and we can't fix it. So I can explain why if you all want to email support@lessonpix.com. They're all coming to me anyways. But those are the two things we know won't work. If it's older than 2016, or if you're in the insider beta testing program, it will not work. I will tell you that anybody who's having trouble with that, your best bet is probably to try to use the online version of PowerPoint. There is an online version of PowerPoint. It does work regardless of what you have installed. So it'll put it on the right-hand side, and it does spin there correctly. So that is our backup plan on those. Miss Lori, what else do I need to answer from these fine folks?
Well, there were a couple questions, but you've done a really good job, all of you, on walking through how to use it and stuff. And you've been answering along the way. Some people wanted to know if they could save the pictures, like in a spinner or on the dice, to reuse the dice again and again. And I think Tara answered them saying to save the tray as a collection. So correct. So one thing I think is probably important that we show is that there is no way in the add-in to change what's in your tray. So your tray is in your tray, and there may be some changes in this in the future as we go. But you really will end up using your browser as well, right? So you're going to go, like, we can't put the sound finder in the add-in. So if you want to find TH sounds, if you want to find SH sounds, right, you're going to use the sound finder. You're going to search for the palatal fricative in the middle of the word, and then you're going to put these pictures in your tray, right? So you're using any browser you want to do this. We'll clear our tray, and we'll add, I don't know, Ocean and Sushi and Dasher and who cares? I don't know, 3 more. Washer, Table, Washer, and sure, Action, whatever. We've got 6 pictures in our tray. We're not going to have all of this functionality of searching for pictures isn't going to live inside of the add-in. It won't fit. It won't work well. And that has always been the case. So if I come back into PowerPoint and hit refresh and log into the same account, it will actually have
the same pictures that are in my tray. So you are going to have to flip back and forth to using LessonPix to set up your tray and then refreshing here to get them into your tray. So what Tara was saying, or Tali was saying, is you can always load a collection, right? So if I have an empty tray here in the browser and I hit load, I can bring up pirate people. I have pirate people in my tray. When I come back to PowerPoint, when I refresh my tray, I will have pirate people in my tray. So it really, there is no way here to be searching. This mirrors what is in the LessonPix main interface, okay? And makes it available so that if you want to use this picture here, you can do that. So the same thing here on the play area. If I now made a spinner, it would have pirate people in the spinner. Hopefully that is clear. And there is an add-in. Beth was nice enough just recently to add where the tutorial is for the add-in. I think that answers a lot of questions. One of the questions that came up earlier was, what about colors and numbers? Well,
that was going to be my next question to tell you.
Excellent. So the numbers we have. So you can always say, I need all the numbers from 1 to 20, because I just think you're going to need it a lot. So here's a spinner from 1 to 20. When you click spin, it'll draw numbers from 1 to 20, 18, right? So that's here. And the same thing on the dice. You can always go in and say, I want numbers. I want 2 dice with numbers on them, and these will have numbers on them. Nice, big, chunky, easy to read numbers. Colors are a little bit different. Which colors do you want? You want primary or pastel? What else do you need? What my suggestion there is, and my suggestion for a lot of these things, is simply load colors into your tray, right? If you do a search for colors, or under shapes, there's a whole section of colors, right? So you can go in here under colors, and we've got them. We've got every color you could possibly want. Clear your tray, choose whatever color, just pick 6. So we want pink and orange and green and blue and yellow and red and purple, just red. There's 6 colors. When I'm in PowerPoint, right, my tray, when refreshed, will have those same colors in it. Hit play. I want dice with colors on them. I'm going to use the pictures in my tray. I want 3 color dice, and I now have 3 color dice, right? So one thing that we've got to remember is we are 1 week into the entire development of this feature set, right? Like, it is crazy that it is doing this much. We got very lucky that we were able to do it. You're going to need to go back and forth into the main interface and back into this to set these up. Now, once they're here, they're here. If you think you're going to use them a lot, save your tray. We'll save this tray as 6 colors. And then if I ever need to reload my tray again, I can always go in and they'll be right here and I can reload them. Now, I do think there's a decent chance that in this in this add-in interface, will we ever add the ability to reload your tray with a saved tray? Yes. Will it be tomorrow? No. We're going to take a break in a couple of days from this. I've been in PowerPoint so much. Okay.
You have.
I am sick to death of Microsoft PowerPoint.
Every dinner conversation, all the time, PowerPoint.
Many late nights to make this thing even close to working. All right. Other questions?
Well, another common question was, will this be recorded to watch again, and where do I find it?
So wherever you're looking right now, it will stay there. So if you thank you, Amy. If you have if you're on Facebook, it'll stay on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, it'll stay on YouTube. Wherever you're looking at it, it will stay right there, and we don't delete them. Next.
All right. And then where to find the add-in tutorial, which I know Beth has posted that. And
Beth posted a link to YouTube and to Facebook. If you go to our YouTube channel, it is like the most recent thing I added. It says PowerPoint add-in, and it is right there. We'll add a link underneath this video as we finish. Anything else?
I think that's most of the questions that I found.
So I have a couple things I want to make sure I mention. And then I want to bring everybody back to make sure we thank everybody and see if anybody else has things to join in. This is not how we like to do development, right, Lori? This is you're the CEO. You don't like it when we do this, correct?
Our mission has been about keeping LessonPix simple. And when we embed into a tool that is not in our control, it's not simple. And I am noticing a lot of the questions are, I can't get the add-in to work, or do I need my admin to help me do this?
Right.
My dice are one-dimensional. I think someone else had that problem earlier as well.
Right.
And that kind of troubleshooting isn't usually what LessonPix does.
Right. The only reason we can keep LessonPix $36 is because we don't do crazy crap like this.
And
right?
we're doing crazy crap. Yes.
I know we're doing crazy crap, but that's what COVID does. It makes you figure out what the teachers need and adapt and deal with it. And we are going to deal with it. I hope you all just please bear with us about the fact that we know there's bugs. I know there's bugs. There's bugs that are mine. And then there's complexities with the fact that between the online, the Mac, the Windows version, there are about 17 versions of PowerPoint out there. You cannot test them all. So you are our testers on this. And please feel free to let us know at support at LessonPix.com. Tell us what version you have, and we'll work through it with you. I would recommend you try the online version, which is free with the version that you have. If you have Office 365, it's included. You just go to, you look up PowerPoint online, you'll get it. I hate to say Google it, but you will. That has solved it for some people, and we are happy to help with it. Our intention is to support every version of PowerPoint that is out there, and I think by the end of the summer we will. I see a lot of questions about Google Slides.
Google
The
Slides.
PPT files, the PPTX files that we generate when you download that version will work in Google Slides just fine. We have a lot of things going on about that. This add-in will not. We will add one for it over the summer, not by the end of the school year. It is not just a matter that it will be a lot of work and we don't have time. So Google, just so you guys give a little bit of background, the way Google wants to authenticate you as a user kind of requires that we link your Gmail account with your LessonPix account. And it doesn't really work for us, especially not with a significant amount of testing. So we can't rush that one. So I think you will likely see it by the end of the summer. I cannot rush that for you. In the meantime, you're going to just have to take what we can give you, right? At this point. Yes.
Yeah, well, we're doing our best. And this is all about supporting our teachers, supporting our students and our families. That is the mission all the time behind LessonPix, to be there for you. And we're doing the best we can. And I'm actually ecstatic about the power behind this. It's just incredible.
Yeah. It is a huge addition to what we're doing. So
yes, there will be bugs, but you know what? I love it.
I love it, bugs and all. So I'm very happy about it. So let me bring these folks back in here for a second. Hello, Tara. Hello, Tali. Hello, Elisa. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm back. Look, we look like we're in Zoom again. We're not. So I really want to thank you all again. So for everybody out there who's happy that we got this out this fast, the only reason we got it out this fast is really the three people that we're not paying. The three people on the screen that we're not paying are the reason that it has gotten done. And so thank you all so much.
Brandy and Beth Koss and a few others.
Oh, yeah. And Brandy. Brandy was going to be here tonight and she couldn't. She had another commitment. So yes, there are a few others that have helped as well. Thank you to them as well. Please be gentle with us, but I promise we will make sure we continue to fix anything wrong with this. I hate saying that. I don't release things until they work. And some of the things don't work on some of the versions of PowerPoint. And I get it. And it's frustrating. But please understand that we needed to support people today. Mm-hmm. We couldn't wait 2 weeks to do the testing because you'd be out of school and we would be in the summer and there would be no value for it. So thank you very much. those of you who are in the comments, feel free to continue to. Lord's Day is in the comments. Hi, Lords. Say hi, Lords. You remember Lord's Day? Lori knows her as well. Make sure you comment. Tell us what you like, what you hate, what else you would like to us to add. We will be adding other things over the summer as well. We have other bugs to fix in the summer as well that have taken a back seat to all this COVID madness. We have a mobile app. Remember, we were all excited about the mobile app, and now nobody is moving. Everybody is sitting in there. You had an ad, Lori, that said, because free time doesn't happen at your computer. That was the tagline.
Yep, spare time doesn't happen at a laptop.
So we are really excited to eventually get out of this mess and back to the real world. While we're in this one, I hope you guys continue to help each other out, like Tali does. Follow her and Tara does, and go to her webinars, and Elisa does, and she's on everywhere. You're on every single AT conference I see has Elisa Wern in it. So I have some news about tomorrow. We have another one of these tomorrow. We are going to talk to Judy Schoonover and Debbie Schwen about hands-on stuff. We're going to make tons of PVC holders for art kits, and we're going to melt crayons, and we're going to do all sorts of nutty stuff for people with fine motor challenges. And we're going to, even though you can't do it with them, you're going to be able to make these things and send them home. Elisa, you're going to love this. Right?
I'm super excited. I told Judy this morning I couldn't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So tomorrow night, same time, and you should set aside, I'll have a save the date card for next Thursday, and it is not final yet, but next Thursday will be a very big one of these LessonPix lives. So make sure you plan your week accordingly, and I'll probably talk about that tomorrow night with Judy. But Lori, anything else we need to say before we go? Any other urgency?
Well, someone had a great idea on the comments just now to do a cookie jar.
A cookie
draw
jar.
From a hat, but draw from a cookie jar. I thought that's
so just all right. We're gonna go here. Hold on a second. Just for those of you who just so let me explain to you how this works. Okay, the way this works is
I know how it works.
Lori sends me something like this, right, and says, "Hey, do this one." And then I go crazy trying to create an animation in HTML. So this is the next one. We'll have this one in tomorrow.
Well, you got a thought bubble. You need a speech bubble, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. So this will be our next one. And then if she wants a cookie jar, I probably make her a cookie jar. Lori, will you draw us a cookie jar?
It's already in LessonPix. There's a few good ones. So
there's good cookie jars in LessonPix?
Yeah.
Judy's saying a gumball machine.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, a gumball machine.
That'd be fun.
And I thought about
you asked for it, Bill. You've opened the floodgates.
Oh my goodness! Look at this. So we already have a cookie jar. All right, Lori, animate that for me.
We'll figure it out. There's only so much we can do, but I love the idea. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, a treasure box. Somebody else had the idea of a treasure box. Bill, this is great.
Yay! As an engineer, I don't care about PG. Yay! Popping balloons. How about popping balloons?
You listen to your customers, Bill. It's important.
Yes. There's Beth. Yes. So that was my mantra this afternoon in our meeting, by the way. That's why. So Kelly, you're not allowed to give us another example. So yeah. So Kelly says, I'm going to shut us all down now. I might.
I know. The fishing pole, like, come on. They're awesome.
Yeah, all right. So I do think that this will eventually morph into a section of LessonPix called the LessonPix Playground. And the reason I'm thinking that is that what you guys really do in PowerPoint some of what you do needs PowerPoint, but lots of it is moving tokens on top of an image that we already generated. We can do that we're already doing all this animation garbage, and I got to learn how to do that. I can probably bubbles. Bubbles. So yeah. So
You asked.
this is now my life for the next few weeks. So I like this one. I like Cherie. You like Cherie. So you're welcome. I'm glad that you appreciate it. Thank you very much for saying that. Whack-a-mole. I don't know how whack-a-mole works. Forget it. We're not doing whack-a-mole. Right. So Stephanie Zaslow says, where are these animations? They are currently in Lori's mind.
They're right here.
Lori's mind onto Inkscape, and from Inkscape handed to me to somehow turn them into something that works.
I say, make this work. Make this happen.
Why isn't it done yet? So, all right. So let me thank you all again. Thank you all for being here. We will pay attention to the comments, and I hope you guys have a great evening. I will see you all tomorrow, and I hope you guys watch as well, because it's gonna be great. So,
I love Judy. She is just remarkable.
I love Judy. She's my all-time favorite. She works harder at the Maker Day than anybody, even Alyssa. She even works harder than Alyssa, and I will rat her out. I have loved Judy since at the end of a ridiculously long Friday at ATIA, she brought a bottle of rum to the table and poured Eric and I drinks. It was fabulous. That's why she's my favorite. So, all right, ladies, thank you for being here, and thank you all as attendees. Thank you for being here as well. I will see y'all tomorrow night at the Thursday, the 21st, at 5 o'clock with Judy Schoonover and Debbie Schwinn for an adaptive art kit. So, and it'll be more exciting than this. It should be more exciting than this one. And if it wasn't for COVID, it would be. So join us tomorrow night. All right. Bye, ladies. See you later.
All right. Thank you. Bye.